Martin Tisler. Martin.
Hello, can you hear me?
Out of bed.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
Awesome. Oh, thank you guys for letting me on.
You're welcome. Why would we let you on?
Oh,
Have we banned? Have we kicked you off before?
no.
Are you sure? Your name kind of rings a bell with me, man, for some reason. What's your point? What do you come here to do? You come to challenge Islam? You come to present your own religion as true? What do you come to do?
Yeah, well, I guess one cool thing I wanted to ask about you guys is like, I actually, like you asked that last guy, I read the Quran in its entirety for the first time.
Alhamdulillah.
And I wanted to ask, like, just from, because I speak English and another language called Yoruba. So, but when I read
language? What language?
Or Yoruba, it's Nigeria.
Yoruba. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And one question that I had was like, since I wasn't able to read the Quran in the Arabic language, I could not, I think, appreciate why the Quran is, an exemplary work from God himself. So I wanted to ask, like, how would you, is it possible to get that or ascertain that as a non-Arabic speaker?
Get the idea that it's from God. Have you read it?
Yes.
You've read it?
Yes.
What impression did you get from it?
Well, when I guess like my main thing was it's a lot of advice, a lot of instruction, mostly not to sin. It was seemingly repetitive in some ways, but I didn't really find it. I know it's not, a narrative. It's not a book that it's supposed to be read in a way to, appeal to the human mind for the sake of like enjoyment.
What? Whoa! Who told you that?
Well, it's not a fiction story. It's not like it's not set. It's not like and again, I didn't read it in a way that is like.
Is that what the Quran says? The Quran doesn't say that. The Quran says the opposite of what you just said.
Oh, well, I would find that most people don't read it like a storybook. But if you did, I feel like it probably wouldn't give you that, there's no sense of suspense, throughout the Quran.
Do you know the job of the Quran, what it is, what it's doing?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Did you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Sorry?
Do you know what it's doing, what the Quran is? What's the point of it? Why does it keep repeating stuff?
I believe it's my a little understanding kind of goes to say, a lot of the revelation, at least based off where Muhammad was for the people. He gave them pertaining to
right. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. Okay.
No. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Just say you don't know. Stop making stuff up, please. I'm begging you. Just answer this. Just answer this. I'll let you speak. So, the Quran does three jobs. Yeah, it's a reminder of the past. It's a reminder of what happened to people of the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guidance for man as he lives today, and it's a warning of what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
And each surah of the Quran does the same thing: reminder of the past, guidance for the present, and warning of the future. Mm-hmm. Now, with the reminder of the past through the prophets of the past and such, or what happened to civilizations of the past, on the guidance for now, and of course for what's to come. That's what the Quran does. That's its job. Alhamdulillah. Okay, sorry, Sabor, you go through.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is something that you said in the beginning got me thinking about, if you don't know Arabic, is there a way of you ascertaining that this is the word of God? So the first thing I want you to consider is just the meaning of the Quran, whether you speak English, you speak Yoruba. You sound like you said Yoruba, so I'm guessing you're from central Nigeria, right?
Lagos area. I was there as a child.
Yeah. So Lagos, right? So you got I'm sure you have a somewhat understanding of Islam because the Hausa people up north, they're all Muslim, right?
Yes.
And even Yoruba, you have Muslims there as well. So look, I'm sure you already know some of the things, but I'm just going to repeat something, and I think it's beneficial. You wanted to know, as a non-Arabic speaker, can you understand why the Quran is true? The first thing I'd point out to you is the meaning of the Quran. The Quran calls for the worship of God alone, and it tells you God is all powerful, all loving, and beyond your imagination, beyond anything that you can conceive, and the only one that we should be worshipping. Now, that message alone, for anybody that's logical, is the first reason why they should consider Islam as a religion, right? So, your background, is it Christianity, or what background do you come from?
I would say like kind of, not deep Christianity. Like I've read the entire Bible as well. I read the Quran because I was playing soccer with a lot of my friends who are it's a Muslim community who all play soccer. They told me, if I read the Quran in its entirety, then I will become Muslim because the truth is in itself. Like, and I took them for their word, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll read the whole Quran and I'll see what happens. And at the end, I was like, sorry.
It's a journey. It's not a switch on off button, right? It's not like somebody reads the Quran and they become Muslim instantly. So the first thing is, your concept of God, is it in line with what the Quran is saying? As in, what the Quran is saying is the concept of God. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, I'd say like the concept of who God is does resonate with me, but
Okay.
I think God himself is not something that's super, like, I don't know, I'd say I'm more agnostic in that manner.
Sure. So when it comes down to the existence of God, are you like, one would be you're like very much like, I'm not sure if God exists, very doubtful. 10 is like, well, you're absolutely dead certain there is a God. Where would you be between 1 to 10?
Yeah, I would say probably 5.
5. Okay, fine. If there was a God, Islam as a religion would be more attractive than other religions because the concept resonates with you, and Islam's concept of God is very natural.
I haven't investigated other religions, so I can't say for sure.
Okay, fine. Now, when it comes to God's existence, when it comes to, say, the design that we see in nature, our spiritual experiences, why there is something rather than nothing, the way that the universe actually is, consciousness, all this stuff is evidence of God all around us. Even us here, if you think about it, you're on this live stream, right? Clearly, we are not the products of naturalism. We're not the products of some dead Darwinian process, because we're such intelligent beings and we're here discussing things way beyond our survival and reproduction, deep theological, philosophical issues. The best explanation for this is theism. Is not actually atheism. And agnosticism is a very poor position, because ultimately you're not in either camp of the atheism or the theist. So the real question here is, from your perspective, why wouldn't you jump from where you are towards theism when you look at all of these evidences around you which are pointing towards God?
I mean, I would say I'm kind of young, so I'm like 21. I don't really know too much about jumping into a religion for the sake of doing so. A lot of people around me don't.
No one's asking you to do that, bro.
Not jumping into religion, jumping into the belief of God, right? Like, it's a very simple point. Whether you're 21 or you're 15 or you're 9 years old, right? Design needs a designer. If something exists, like, for example, the universe, it does exist, right? This needs an explanation. We have morality, we have consciousness, we have all these laws around us, the laws of nature. All of these things, they need an explanation. Would you agree that on the minimum it needs an explanation?
I would say they need the correct explanation. And to jump to an explanation, I don't want to jump to God explanation just because, the quotes about God of the gaps, like, okay, if you jump to God as the explanation for anything you aren't understanding completely, that's a poor way of understanding the world.
God of the gaps would be a poor argument, but I'm not making God of the gaps. I am explaining God as the explanation for reality. Reality is not a gap. For example, you believe in consciousness. You're a conscious being right now. We have design in the DNA. We have design in the laws of nature. These aren't gaps. These are observations. So I'm using observations to make an inference. Atheists have popularized this idea that God of the gaps. No one even knows what it really means. What exactly does it mean, right? I'm not saying we don't understand something, therefore there's a God, right? That no one's saying that. I'm actually saying the opposite. We understand there's design. We understand that we have an immaterial mind. We understand that this universe needs an explanation. And the best explanation for all of these things is a creator, unless you have a better explanation. So if you don't believe in God, how do you think all of this came about?
So that's where I disagree. And I don't know if it's just fundamentally.
Well, you disagree. Well, stop. You was asking a question. Why are you disagreeing? Just answer the question.
Where do I think all this came from? I don't think
Yes.
I need to know.
We're not interested in where you don't know. Look. He's
Well,
not
that's what
asking you to agree with him. He's asking what your position is and what you believe. So what he said has got nothing to do with you. So what do you believe?
Yeah, I would say I don't want to believe anything unless it's true.
That's fine.
And for me, I'm not I don't know. I can't say I know that, consciousness arose from God because I can observe consciousness and I see it in my reality. And I say, okay, I know it's from God because I don't know.
All right. Where did it come from?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it.
You don't know. All right. Where could it have come from? What's your choices?
I haven't evaluated consciousness to the level to know where it could come from.
I mean, it doesn't take long. Let's go through it.
It doesn't take long to. I think there's.
Okay. Firstly, Martin,
where consciousness arose from.
Martin, I want us to agree on a common denominator. I want us to agree on a common denominator, so that we're both on the same page.
Can I just say one thing? Can we be on the same page?
Sorry, I think this is a super important point. Let me just make this one point, and I don't think you're going to disagree. We have two contenders. Okay, there is atheism and there is theism. Agnosticism is just unsure. The person is unsure between these two positions. These two positions, they need to account for the reality of life. That's a minimum point that we can agree about. Do you agree with that?
So I agree to an extent. I think they should account for. So, like, to say there is no God accounts for everything we know in reality, I would say is a poor way to evaluate the world. Same thing to say God is the reason of why we can see what we see in reality. Both of them,
Martin,
I feel like
I'm going to make this easy for everybody watching. I'm going to make this easy for everybody watching. Sabor, where do you think consciousness comes from? Or where could consciousness come from?
Consciousness is something which cannot be explained by naturalism, cannot be explained by physicalism, and therefore is best explained by theism because it's something super rational. It's beyond nature, right? So consciousness, design, the fact that we have something rather than nothing, the fact that the universe.
Stop at the consciousness. Let's stop at the consciousness. Yeah. Right, Martin. Why is he wrong?
From what he said just now, nothing sounded wrong to me.
Good. Okay. Do you have an explanation?
For consciousness, I would say that it seems like almost all living organisms have some semblance of consciousness, not to the extent that
I'm not asking who has consciousness. I'm asking where it comes from.
Yeah. So can it come from natural causes?
No, I'm asking you where can it come from? No, it can't come from natural processes. Well, where's it come from? You don't know.
I think I would say, if I was to say God is the creator of consciousness versus natural causes was the creator of consciousness, those are the only options, like you just mentioned.
Martin. I have to revert to type. I'm so sorry about this, bro. I don't care whether you believe in God. Yeah, I really don't. All right. What I care about is that you think you can challenge our reasons of believing in God. So this is what I'm inviting you to do. And I just asked Sabor about consciousness. This is one of the reasons he believes in God, is because of the consciousness. Yeah? You can't refute that because you don't know where consciousness comes from. Yeah? The design we see, how do you refute that?
The design we see in the universe, I would say, seems less like the design of a mind than being randomly created.
What does that even mean?
I would say, like, if you look at, for example, just Earth as we know it in the vast expanse of the universe, it seems like this is probably more random than it is designed, because
Do you believe
there
random?
could
All right.
be. Sorry,
You believe randomness is a real thing?
is randomness a real thing, as in the universe being random?
No, the concept of randomness. You believe that's a real thing?
Yes.
What's your proof?
If I roll a dice, I can say
Martin,
there are
Martin, don't go there.
possibilities.
Don't
So
go there, Martin.
if there are
Martin.
more than one possibilities, then the possibilities are non-determined, so random.
No, you don't understand what you're talking about, dude. Randomness is not proven, mate. It's axiomatic. You can't prove or disprove it.
Oh, okay. Maybe
With a dice throw, if you knew the wind velocity and the angles and this, you could predict what numbers were going to land. It's not random. It can appear random, but it's not random.
Okay, I think things can appear random.
I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in appearances. You said random. These things happen randomly, as if randomness is a thing. Because just because you don't know the source of something, you can't just posit randomness of the gaps. Yeah.
No,
I
agree. That's
what you just did.
Yeah,
that's what you just did. Yeah, that's what you just did. So you need to take a little step back. Because you're just regurgitating things that atheists say. To be honest with you, and atheists have got no leg to stand on because they don't know anything. And when you try to reach out to science to help you support this truth, science can't give you the truth because the philosophy of science can't establish truth because it can be refuted by its own philosophy tomorrow. Yeah, so you can have the latest explanations. Now, support gives you good reasons to why he believes God exists. Yeah, and that's the idea of consciousness, design, and you then said design was random, but we've just established now that you can't even prove that. Do you understand? Do you understand about the design inference and how you determine something's a product of design or not?
So that, I would say, I haven't heard what you just said before. No,
good. It's good. It's good.
But I would say that I do understand it. I do understand the notion of design. I think well enough to say that the argument for it being designed from God, for example, a omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient being created the universe, I feel like is and maybe random, maybe it's arguing semantics on the word to use in that situation, but to say that God did it versus something else did it, not God, just doesn't seem.
Okay, I'm going to give you a very, very quick thing. Whenever you see anything that contains information that's coded information, what do you conclude? Who is the source of it?
Well, the only things that I find coded in my daily life is things created by humans.
No. If you ever found any information that's coded information that isn't the product of something intelligent?
No, but I've never seen anything coded that wasn't coded by a human.
Computers code things? Don't computers code things? Can't. The point I'm making to you is this. We'll talk about the information. Blueprints
I don't think
to a
computers
building.
can code things without the input of a human.
We just established something. Just because you don't know the origin of something is irrelevant. Or you know the origin of something. So, for example, let's say no one's ever seen a mobile phone. This person has been locked up in a cage since he was a child from 1940s, and he's 100-year-old man. 104-year-old man. Right? 184-year-old man. All right, anyway. And then someone gives him a mobile phone. Would he think this just happened? Did he need to know that a human being made this?
Or better yet, would it be rational for him to say, of a certainty, this was not made?
Always here.
This wasn't created. It has no designer.
Let me just repeat my question to you because you ignored my question and you tried to deflect to another answer. 1 second. I'm going to repeat my question to you. It's a yes or no answer. It's a yes or no answer. Have you ever seen coded information in anything that wasn't the product of something intelligent? Yes or no?
No.
Right. So when you see information in DNA of the same coded type, why do you not assume it's also the product of something intelligent?
Because after briefly, and again, just to the rudimentary biology degree that I'm trying to get, I can look at that there are naturalistic means to attain DNA.
Give me the naturalistic means that can produce the information found in DNA.
So for the little I've looked into, you can get non-biologic enzymes and things of that nature coming together to, produce a process. And
Do you understand what I mean by information, don't you?
Sorry?
You understand what I mean by information?
Yeah, information. You're saying something to code for a process or a function, like have something entailed within itself to give an outcome. I think that's what you mean by.
Yeah, so coded information that will determine what this thing is going to become.
Yes.
Right. So using your naturalistic explanation, where does information come from?
It can come from a group of molecules can become a protein enzyme, and then they are favored.
Well, no. It's the DNA tells the amino acids and proteins and such. It's the information.
Well, you can have proteins created before you need any DNA. Not by a biologic organism.
Well, you can so proteins can come into existence without amino acids.
Oh no, you need amino acid. Yes.
Right, and how do the amino acids know how to arrange themselves?
Entropy and molecular bondings.
No, just making stuff up now, though.
I'm not making stuff up. I swear on my life that.
You are. Wait. All right. Now's the time to listen to teacher. Okay.
You said the word entropy. Okay. What does the word entropy mean?
What does it mean? It's that they go from ordered to less ordered states.
Yes. So how can entropy be an explanation for complexity when it should be an explanation of degradation?
Because molecules because water, for example. No. If water is more entropically favored to hydrogen bonding compared to a van der Waals interaction, they can cause and they can arrange themselves in organizations that are bonded between like one nitrogen bond and an oxygen bond to create an amide bond, right?
That's a disanalogy. That's a disanalogy. Where in your example is something becoming more complex?
You would probably say that water by itself and an amino acid by itself are not complex, but two amino acids together are complex. But water itself can cause that two amino acids to arrange themselves together. That would be more entropically favorable.
Let me. I don't even know what you're talking about, entropically favorable. But anyway.
Oh, I can explain.
Okay. One second. How in your example, let's just stick to the question that you didn't answer that I asked you. How in your example have you shown that entropy leads from simplicity to complexity?
Because it depends on what you think is simplistic. Because, for example, we are always creating more entropy as humans by eating plants and creating cars and things of that nature. You might think these are more complex systems from before in the past of our universe, but we've just gotten more energy from the sun, who has been releasing energy into the earth so that we can do our daily functions and release that entropy onto our surroundings. So you might say, 2,000 years ago, everything was less complex than it was today. But no, the complexity isn't a measure of entropy. Entropy simply says once energy is being transferred from a more favorable state or a less favorable state to a more favorable state, and vice versa, then you can do anything.
Okay, let me repeat my question for the third time because you haven't actually answered it. Where in your example have you shown that entropy can explain complexity?
When two molecules are separated from each other.
Right.
And these two complex molecules come together to make a more complex molecule.
Right.
Is that increasing complexity?
At a fundamentally trivial level. That is the poorest analogy to give when you're speaking about the origin of life. Do you understand? No, okay. Do you understand when it comes to the origin of life? Because this is what we're talking about: the origin of information, the origin of life. Do you understand that there is a unanimous understanding that they don't actually understand how life began?
Yes.
So therefore,
he's explaining it.
Okay, your very poor understanding currently is not something that you can publish, and all these people looking into abiogenesis are going to turn around and say, wow, we found something. Clearly, you also understand they don't actually have an explanation for this, because this is an incredibly difficult area for them. Number one problem for them is, how many origins were they? Now, how many origins do you believe they were?
I don't know.
Okay, so let's just leave it there, because before, what you previously tried to do is you previously tried to explain as if we have an understanding. We don't actually have an understanding. So let me just explain something.
Can I interject?
There is no evidence. There is zero, not a single atom of evidence that abiogenesis can take place, that you can go from the inorganic to the organic, and that it only happened once. This is a total and utter assumption that governs the biological enterprise, right? There is no evidence for this. And we as theists in particular have reasons to believe that life can emerge more than once. Naturalists believe that life can only emerge once. So the perspective that you begin off with affects the data that you're actually looking at, right? So the inferences that you come up with are affected by your starting position. So our starting position is not the same as the Darwinist starting position, not the same as the naturalist starting position. From the sounds of what you're saying, you're not really an agnostic. You're not 50-50. You're actually trying to give your understanding of what the Darwinists would say if they were being asked the same questions that you're being asked.
But I don't know why my understanding of the arguments, like, just because I understand them and can tell you them doesn't mean I believe them. I can just say this is an alternative to God, and I can say you're justified.
You didn't give us an alternative,
and they're justified in their reasoning.
Okay, Martin, can I just say one thing, please? I think this is super important.
Sure.
Nobody in the biological community can say this is a replacement for God. Nobody, when it comes to abiogenesis.
No,
they can't.
But well, I would.
You said it.
But
you said it, and the reason why you said it is because you seem to be suffering from scientism. God as an explanation is above the scientific explanation. God is a metaphysical explanation. Metaphysical is beyond physics. So even if, now let me just say this very, very clearly, even if we had a Lego-like scaffolding model to explain how we get from the inorganic to the organic, that would make no difference to the arguments for the existence of God. It would not be an argument against God. So your understanding of this being a God replacement is totally and utterly false.
Okay, so me having an understanding of how abiogenesis could occur, and many scientists would disagree with you and say they fundamentally have a overview of how the process could work, but not any evidence to sustain, a claim about how.
Martin, you've ignored what I pointed out. You said it was a God replacement. I said it's not a God replacement.
I don't know why you're trying to put me into this atheistic view, but I'm trying to say that
Martin,
I am not replacing God. I'm just saying this isn't.
Martin, let me just say something. I am not putting you in a particular box. The words came out of your mouth that it's a God replacement.
I never said God replacement.
You did.
I didn't say God replacement. If I did, it wasn't meant to say this replaces God effectively.
You did. You just gave an alternative to God, and you think it's that. You said that.
So I'm not saying it's better or worse.
No. What you said, I presented an alternative to God, but I'm not saying I believe that. But the reality is, you didn't present an alternative to God.
You didn't.
So it's not even forget whether you believe it or not. It doesn't even exist.
Okay. That's
Do you
fair.
want? Okay.
That's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. It just
Okay,
doesn't exist.
Martin. Let's end upon something that we can agree about.
Yeah, let's do that.
I really hate that we went in this direction because my question was about originally I really didn't want it to go this way. I really wanted to talk about how to get from the Quran to, that.
Shall I tell you? I'll give you that answer.
Okay.
Shall I give you that answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. If God exists, how would you know anything about him?
I think God will have to determine that way.
No, you'd have to reveal that information, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And how would you reveal that information to us?
I believe in a reasonable means so that we would believe in it.
Right. So it would make sense for him to choose people from amongst us and get them to deliver the message to us in a language and in a manner we understand.
Yes.
Okay. And has there been any men in history who've claimed to be messengers bringing revelation from God?
Yes.
Okay. Which one said he came for you?
Many.
None. Only Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him.
I would disagree.
Okay. Give me one example of a man in history who claimed to be a messenger of God, who said he brought that message of God to you. Give me a name.
His name is Dr. Alukoya.
Dr. Alukoya.
Yes.
And who is Dr. Alukoya? Oh, flip it.
He says he's a messenger from God.
Okay. Well, why do you believe him?
I don't believe him.
Good. Okay. So in history, when men have come from God and they've brought supernatural events with them to determine that what they're saying is true, yeah, which messenger of God who claimed to come a revelation said he came for you? Only one man in history was Muhammad. Only one man and the reason I say that, he's the only prophet in history that ever claimed to come for the whole world. No other prophet did. Forget your fake scammer pastor or whatever he is. Forget him. We're talking about messengers of the past. Okay, because Muhammad is the final messenger. There's no messenger after him. So forget any Dr. Alukoya or whatever he was. Yeah. Okay. So the reality here is
what makes Muhammad more credible than him?
Because he's the final messenger of God.
You say that, but what?
I'll tell you why I say that.
Okay, thanks.
This is a beautiful thing, you see. It ties itself up. Okay, so Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, made a claim 1400 years ago. An angel spoke to him in the cave, telling him he's a messenger of God. For 23 years, received this revelation. Okay, what else could explain this?
Could explain his claim.
The claim. Yes. So he made the claim. So it's either telling the truth or what else?
Or he's lying.
Or he's lying. What else?
I guess you could either be saying the truth or lie. I don't know what other thing you could be doing.
You could be crazy. You could be mentally disturbed.
That's still lying.
No, it's not. A crazy person thinks they're telling the truth.
Yes, but it's still deception because it's not true.
No, but he doesn't think it's not true. So lying is intentionally saying something you know is not true. A crazy person thinks what they're saying is true.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I would still call it lying, but then.
It can't be lying because the lying is intent. So when you lie about something, you say something to somebody which you know isn't true. That's a lie. A crazy person saying something, even if it's true or not, is irrelevant because he thinks it's true.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so he's either crazy, lying, he could be deceived. He could have been tricked. Someone could have fooled him into thinking he's the messenger of God when in fact this Dr. Alukoya was just tricking him. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Or he's telling the truth, right? So all you need to do is look at these four options and determine for yourself which you think is most reasonable. Was he lying? Was he crazy? Was he deceived? And if not, then he's telling the truth. If he's telling the truth, the Quran is from God, and where in the Quran it says Muhammad's the final messenger, Dr. Alukoya is out the window, or whatever his name is. Okay, so anyway, so at this point here, I'm giving you a point of reference now to go away and research. What you need to do is go and test the claim. Now, I make it easy for you. There's 2 live streams on my channel. One is, was the Prophet ﷺ crazy? And the other one is, was the Prophet ﷺ lying? Go watch them. Yeah, go to my live streams, look for those 2 titles. Was he crazy? Was he lying? This man in the middle here owes me one. Was he deceived? Inshallah. Once you've watched these, you come back, tell us what you think. Because you have to make a decision then. Was he lying, crazy, deceived, or telling the truth? That's your focus. All right?
I would say he's just like.
I'm not interested in what you're saying. I want you to go and look at it. And then
I may
conclude.
have, because I've watched many of your videos. I may have
Have you watched the live stream where we went through, we asked the question, was he lying? And we give all the reasons as to why he wasn't. Have you watched that?
I'm not going to lie and say I know for sure that I did, but
Good,
I have a feeling
good.
I did.
Well, here's what I'm going to say to do. Get a nice big pen and paper, yeah? I want you to watch that stream. Was he lying? Because that's your claim he's lying, yeah?
Essentially, because, I mean, my mom
Okay, I don't mind that. No, you're not going to offend me. You think he's lying, yeah? All right, no problem. Pen and paper at the ready.
Lying, though.
Pen and paper at the ready, and I want you to watch that stream. And I want you to watch all the points made, and I want you to write down all the things that you contend. And then I want you to come back with big boy pants on, and I want you to challenge what's been said, okay?
Can I just...
And what I'll do for you, Martin, if you email me at askhamzasden.com, yeah? At gmail.com, sorry to say. Askhamzasden@gmail.com. I'll give you your own stream. It'll be called Martin Trisler refutes Sharif and declares that the Prophet Muhammad was a liar. Okay, I'll make that stream. I'll have Sharif with me as well, and you can tell Sharif why he was wrong and what he was wrong about. All right?
That's fair. Just can I make one statement or one question?
Go on. Is that a statement or a question?
Yeah, one question. I apologize.
It's a question. Go on.
Okay, one question is, my mom says she hears from God, and I wouldn't call her a liar. What?
Say it again. Sorry.
My mom tells me she hears from God, and I wouldn't call her a liar. She's probably never lied to me a day in her life. How could I tell her she doesn't?
She could be mistaken. Why does she believe it's God?
So being mistaken is an option.
That's the deluded crazy part.
That's the delusion crazy
Well, my
part.
mom isn't crazy.
There's levels. There's delusion. Okay. You don't have to be like completely insane to be deluded.
Okay, that's fair.
You can be tricked. Then there's the other one that's tricked. It could be the devil.
It could be Satan. It could be Satan talking to him.
You don't have to be completely schizophrenic or something. Okay, thank you.
No, because that one, so it wouldn't come under that. It wouldn't come under delusion. It'll come under deception. So
my mom's thinking she hears from God is deception.
Yeah, your mum is being deceived. Yes. So whatever's talking to her, the devil.
Okay, so you can be deceived by the devil.
Yes.
That's the only other option.
Yes.
Okay.
Deceived by, of course, deceived by
the devil, or this is a stretch. I mean, but somebody could have put a speaker in her room somewhere hidden, and they only speak to her when you're not there, and so she hears something.
Yeah, there you go. There's a rationale.
Either way, it's deception.
Actually, you know what, MC? That's what he should have said, because he's a rationalist. So he should have rational explanations. Yeah. So maybe someone's put like a little speaker in her room, and she thinks it's God speaking to her.
I know that's not the case, but
how do you know it's not the case?
Because she says she will do it spontaneously, in different settings.
What do you mean spontaneous? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like she can pray and then feel like she hears something from God in random.
Oh, she feels like she hears something. Well, wait a minute, you just changed your tune now. You said feels like. You said she feels like she hears something.
Feels like it, but she actually believes she hears something.
Oh, okay. You heard the placebo effect, isn't it?
Sorry.
You know what the placebo effect is?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you tell the mind something, you can actually manifest that thing.
Okay. Placebo effect is another option. Okay. Thank you.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to get real reasons, because I feel like there almost is no dispute to say Muhammad was schizophrenic, as I think you guys would say.
No, listen to me. I'll make it easy for you. You can't say he was crazy.
A liar.
You can't say he was a liar.
Yes.
And you won't be able to say he was deceived.
Yes.
So you'll have to concede he told the truth and accept
that's
Islam.
Why I'm saying it feels to me I would have to concede my mom tells this truth too.
No, you'd have to concede that your mum's being deceived.
Why?
Why does she? Okay, what does God tell her to do?
Only good things,
Like what?
Help people,
Help people.
Pray for others.
Okay. Does this verse tell her to pray to Jesus?
Things like that.
Does this God tell her to pray to Jesus?
I don't think so.
Oh, he doesn't tell her to pray to Jesus.
I don't think
Does
so.
she think it's Jesus talking to her?
I don't know. I have to ask her, actually.
I think you need to ask her. And
Yeah.
isn't Yoruba, you're all into the ancestor worship and all that stuff as well?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so where you like buy fake money on the internet and then you burn it in a bowl and it gets your ancestors out of hell and stuff.
Something like that.
Yeah. Is your mum one of them?
No, she's not.
She's not Kemet.
No.
All right. Anyway, go do the test. Yeah.
Thank you.
I want you to watch that stream. Was he a liar? I want you to come back and say, Hamza, I watched that stream and I have to concede he wasn't a liar. What's next? Oh, okay, crazy. Go watch the crazy stream. Come back.
Yes.
Say he wasn't crazy.
I know he wasn't. I know.
And then
I already
in
know.
6 months' time, you can watch Was He Deceived? And
And I doubt he was deceived. There's
there's
no
bro,
way he
you've
could
got
have
nowhere to
something
go.
playing on a speaker
I am
that-
telling you straight. I could save you time right now. Just accept he's a messenger of God and get on with your life.
Then I have to accept Dr. Lukoya and my mom are both.
No,
messengers
no.
of
Because
God.
if you accept no. Because if you accept Muhammad as a messenger of God, that would mean the Quran is from God, and the Quran is clear that Muhammad is the final messenger. Khalas.
But why couldn't I accept Dr. Lukoya? That's the only reason I'm like I don't.
Because he's a
know how
con
I
man,
cannot
mate.
accept
Because he's a
them
con
too.
man. Because he's a con man.
I
'Cause he's
would
a
not
cult
say
leader.
yes. He only wants to help people. So I wouldn't say
He wants to help himself, bro. Does he drive a nice car?
no.
Shut up. Take care, mate.
Oh, do you know him? I don't think he does.
Listen, cult leaders drive nice cars, have nice houses, and
Oh, he's not a
potentially
cult leader.
he's not a cult leader.
No.
Who
He's
is
a
he?
local pastor.
He's just a local pastor who
Yeah.
claims to be a prophet of God.
That he hears from God. You know, God spoke to me. He'll say.
Okay,
things
he's
like
being
that.
okay. I'll take it back. He's being deceived.
All right,
Okay.
Martin, it was good speaking to you.
Take care,
Thank-
Martin. I look forward to hearing from you.